Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the marketing and consumer transparency around a training device called the PelviPulse Pro.
Right.
So, what exactly is it? The sources we have describe it as a kind of seat cushion. You sit on it, fully clothed, and it delivers a gentle vibration.
And the idea is that this strengthens your pelvic floor muscles.
Exactly. And the marketing claims are, well, they're pretty big. We're talking about improvements in things like incontinence control, more confidence, and even boosting erectile performance.
All from just 10 to 15 minutes a day.
That's the pitch.
Okay, so before we go any further, I think it's really crucial to state our usual disclaimer. This discussion is purely educational commentary. It is not medical advice. We are focusing only on the marketing claims and the platform transparency presented in our source material.
A very important point.
So what's fascinating here is that the core concept behind this product is it's completely sound.
You mean pelvic floor training itself?
Yeah. Yes. It's a valid, widely used concept. Physical therapists and doctors recommend it all the time for muscle control, core support, things like that.
So if the science behind the general idea is strong, why does this specific product seem to lean so heavily on, personal stories instead of actual data?
That is the key question. It signals a real focus on marketing over verification.
Like testimonials saying, I feel like my 20-year-old self again.
Exactly. It's all about emotional appeal, not concrete, measurable results from a proper study.
Mm.
Credible medical devices, they just don't do that. They come with documentation. Its absence here is, well, it's the first major red flag.
What about people who've actually used it? What does the feedback look like?
It's very mixed from what the sources say. Some users report feeling, some pelvic engagement or comfort improvements.
Which could be the concept working, or maybe just a placebo effect?
It's likely a combination of both. But then you have a significant number of other users who say they see absolutely no change. That kind of inconsistency suggests either the device isn't great or people aren't using it right, which again points to a need for clinical oversight.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. That variance naturally makes you wonder who is actually selling this thing. When we shift focus to the company itself, the picture gets a lot clearer.
Yes, it does. Independent website reputation tools gave the official PelviPulse Pro site an incredibly low trust score.
How low are we talking?
Like one analysis rated it around 1 out of 100. Just catastrophically low.
1 out of 100. Wow. What does a tool like that look for?
They scan for specific consumer risk indicators. Things like, is the domain brand new? Is the owner's identity hidden? In this case, the site showed patterns that are very common in suspicious online shops. No physical address, generic contact forms. It has all the hallmarks of an operation designed to make quick sales and then just disappear.
So, tying all this together, the way they're selling it, it just screams low reliability. What does that 1 out of 100 score actually mean for you, the person clicking buy?
It means there's a genuine risk of things going wrong. You could have payment issues, the product might never show up, or there could be zero customer support if you have a problem.
So what does this all mean?
I mean, the scientific concept of the product might be valid,
Right. Strengthening the pelvic floor is a real thing.
but the platform it's being sold through shows all these fundamental markers of low authenticity. It's a potentially risky purchase.
So the takeaway from our sources seems pretty clear.
It is. If you're interested in pelvic floor training, you're just much better off seeking out equipment that's recommended by a clinician, or at the very least, sold through established, reputable healthcare retailers, not from a direct-to-consumer site with these kinds of trust issues.
Which leaves us with a final thought. In this era of readily available consumer wellness tech, how do we best balance our enthusiasm for self-care with the necessary due diligence to actually verify a product's platform and its scientific claims? That's the question we'll leave you with today.